And welcome back to Football Manager once again. We've now realised who our Champions League finalist opponent is, and it's Manchester United, the same side that we are playing today. Now, what I'm planning to do, so obviously this will be the 4 final games of the season, is it'll be Monday Manchester United, Tuesday Newcastle, Wednesday Leicester, Thursday Manchester United, and then Friday will be a season review sort of thing, like I was going to do at the end of last season and the season before. However, things happened that caused that to not be possible. So, obviously, I'll hopefully be able to get all of it in one go. There's no guarantee of that, of course. We had been given, I should say, a fairly sizable transfer budget, £73 million. As you can see, I've spent £67 million of that already on Terry Alexander, a former youth player for Millwall who was poached before he became one of my players. He was poached by Manchester United in 2023, I believe, and then managed to get into their first under 16 or whatever it was in 2024. And he is a very good potential player, but he's only going to be League 2 quality for the current moment. So what he's going to do is he's going to go out on loan to Northampton Town Football Club for next season, as they have been relegated from League 1. Unfortunately, Boston lost in the playoff semi-finals to Coventry quite badly, I have to admit. They beat them 1-0 away from home, but then got demolished at what's their stadium called now? The Community Stadium, 4-1. In fact, Mario Vargic, the captain of the side, the player I brought in, who's now gone on to make over 200 appearances for Boston United, probably one of their best defenders they've ever had in the past 20-25 years. But they did falter at the final step. I will be re-loaning Sam Jones and Jack Coultas to them again next season. Sam Jones is already now at Championship quality. Oh, well, he was at Championship quality. But of course, as well as that, we've also got Jack Coultas, who has definitely done well this season. He's not the top goal scorer, though, mind you, because he's had a bit of an injury problem in the middle portion of the season, but he's still very good. He's actually the second highest value player at the club. No big surprise. But he's actually only League 2 quality potential Championship, which is a bit unfortunate, of course, for a player that I was hoping to be a good player for them in the future. And as well as that, they've signed on a permanent basis Ted Mengi, which I didn't realise. So the player that we had at Millwall for, 4 years, I assume, and loaning him out to Boston for 3 of those 4 years, he did very well for them and signed on a permanent deal at the end of his contract and then stayed with them for the next season, for this season. So he's done very, very well for himself there. But that's not what you're here to watch. You're here to watch us play League Champions Manchester United. So let's get into it, shall we? We've had a massive overhaul of the formation and of the team because of, simply one thing mainly: fitness problems. We've had 4 games in the space of a week, and fitness problems became a big problem. Hence why Mario Gusto and Sahajovic have both got such low conditioning, because Sahajovic only just come back from his injury, so Augusto's played every single game so far. We've been able to rotate the right backs and centre backs. We've been able to rotate Doyle, Nato, Lopez, Mateus, Barry. We've been able to rotate all of them. But that's the problem. We can't rotate our left back. We've only got one other one. So next season, as obviously you know, I've got Valentino Livramento coming in as our new permanent right back, who will be joined as probably by 2 players. Obviously Terry Alexander will be one of them, and the other one will probably be a new foreign right back who we can bring in for cheap, really. That's the main draw. Or if possible, bring in a out of contract Premier League club right back. Of course, no guarantee of that happening either. But of course, this match is completely pointless at this point. All of the last 2 games are going to be completely unimportant because we know where we're finishing. We are guaranteed 4th place at this point in time. We cannot go up, we cannot go down, neither can Manchester United. The only teams in the top 4 that can actually move anywhere are Chelsea and Liverpool. And to be honest with you, I'm putting Liverpool to be 2nd place this season. That's who I'd bet on to finish as runner-up. Now, free kick from Manchester United, swings it into the far post where there is no one to collect it, and Jose Vitor runs it out, now passing to him. Now Frank Kessie, back to the unpronounceable player. Well, to me anyway. Now forward to Greenwood. Out wide finding Rashford, plays into the middle for Haaland, but cleared incredibly well by... I'm not exactly sure who that was, but it was a very good clearance. Barry now with a cross, met by the head of Custodio, I'm going to pronounce it as, and Louis Barry, with one hell of an effort, makes it 1-0 Millwall in the 13th minute. And we could be handing Manchester United their 4th defeat of the season, as we've only had 5 ourselves. Iban Neto with a good touchdown for Louis Barry to just thump it with his right boot into that top corner, past, I'm assuming, David De Gea. Yes, I was right. Who I would not be surprised if he was probably leaving at the end of this year as a retirement, because he is now 37 years old. Of course, Manchester United, as you can see there, 4 defeats so far this season, 27 victories, 6 draws. Of course, that is very impressive for any Premier League club to have that few defeats. But we've only had 1 more than that. We've had 5 this season. And we're playing Newcastle next, so I would not be surprised if we were to beat them as well. Unfortunately, as I mentioned, Liverpool are uncatchable. They are a point out of range of our team, so they'd have to go into some form of administration for us to go up to 3rd place at the very least, which is not going to happen. Obviously, this game doesn't allow that to happen. Yola now trying to get the ball from Aaron Wan-Bissaka, but he just runs straight past everyone, crossed the ball in short and low to Erling Haaland, and it makes it 1-1 for Manchester United at the Den. And after 45.5 minutes, I mean, that was atrocious defending from Yola, and Tuanzebe was very poor in his marking of Haaland. He should have been the ball side of Haaland, not the other side. But we can't really dwell on it now, and I'm going to passionately say it's time to dig in, give everything we've got, and we should hopefully do fairly well. As I mentioned, Tuanzebe did atrociously poorly in his attempt at defending that, so what we're going to do is we're going to take him off for Thomas. We're going to put him into the centre of midfield with Doyle and Nato as an advanced playmaker. And then we're going to swap Augusto for Sahajevic, because Augusto is down to 66% condition. That's not going to be good enough. And the final change will probably be Mateus for Tasic at some point later in the match. But for now, we'll start some creativity in the hope that we can pull off some form of a victory against this side. Manchester United with another free kick, and Zeno van Huysden, or however you pronounce that name, has just made it 2-1 to Manchester United, and another piece of atrocious defensive work by the boys at the back. Torreira with a free kick gets it straight over everyone's head. Custodio kicks it down, and then there's a massive hole left in the centre of the defensive field that was just left by our players. And despite having fairly even possession, Manchester United have tripled our number of shots and just demolished us in terms of shots on target. 9-1. That is very poor. But of course, you only need 1 shot to win a match. Torreira with another attempt at a cross, but Haaland's header goes over the bar. And after 70 minutes, it still remains just a 2-1 lead to Manchester United. Torreira with another corner kick, swung in again, this time cleared very effectively by Louis Barry. And I'm going to make our final change now. And I'm going to change my mind on what I was going to change. I'm actually going to change Roberto Lopez for Ross Barkley as an attacking midfielder on a support role, and just give him a team talk saying that we've passionately got faith in his ability to make a difference in this match. Admittedly, I don't really have a lot of faith in Ross Barkley to change this match, but it might work. It's the best one we've got. And in front of another packed stadium, it seems we're going to have our 6th defeat of the season. That was a terrible piece of defending. They didn't even look to make a attack there. And Terry Alexander, our new right back for the new season, is making, I believe, his debut for Manchester United. David De Gea now, the ball out to Terry Alexander. Plays it out wide, finding Wan-Bissaka. Nato harries the player, but unfortunately the ball still gets into the middle. Torreira to Gomez, now Kessie runs it forward, gets to the edge of the box-ish, then plays it back to Carl Wogan, another player we've been looking to sign over the last few years. But poor ball from Wogan gives it to Barkley, who then plays it forward to Mateus, who gets into the box, but the ball is saved by De Gea. He really should have squared it for Barry. But either way, a corner kick is given, and Mateus is to take it. Mateus swings the ball in to the near post, but there is no one standing there. Barkley now with the ball. Tries a cross, but that looked like a foul from Haaland, to be honest with you. And nothing given. Plizzari plays the ball out to the left wing for no particular reason, out for a throw-in, when he was really not being challenged by any Manchester United players. Wan-Bissaka with a very long wait for the throw, but Barkley picks it up, looks to play the ball forward but has to play it back to Sahavic instead. Now to Yulla in the middle for Eduardo, and that's it. Full time, and we lose our 6th game of the season. And I'm going to say unlucky, because we were. I can't be too unhappy with that. We didn't have the best possible team available to us, so we had to do what we needed to do with what we did, and we didn't do it very poorly. We did very well. And finishing in 4th place this season is not going to be sniffed at. We don't want to take a look at that poorly. It was a very well done and well finished position. Now we've got Newcastle coming up to try and get our final 3 points of the season, because we need to get the final 3 points this season, otherwise we've got a lot of problems. If we finish a single point ahead of Arsenal, that is. And he will be rested for the Newcastle game, simply because, well, if we don't rest him, he may be injured for the 2 most important games of the season. But, as I mentioned, Tuesday, well, tomorrow, as you will watch it, will be the final Premier League game of the season, where we play Newcastle United at St James's Park, before moving on to Wembley for the Leicester City FA Cup final, and then moving on to... where's the final of the Champions League? I can't remember what it is now. The Puskás Arena against Manchester United. And then there's some Europa Championship qualifiers for the international side, as well as a friendly, as well as the World Club Championships. So, until Tuesday, I bid thee adieu. Goodbye.